Hi, and welcome back to Thone's Psalms, Nibbles, number 21. The king is supported by the Lord. This comes from the 21st Psalm, 1 through 6 verse. The king shall have joy in your strength, O Lord, and in your salvation how great shall he rejoice. You have given him his heart's desire, and have not withheld the request of his lips. Selah. For you beat him with the blessings of goodness. You set a crown of pure gold upon his head. He asks life from you, and you give it him. Length of days forever and ever. His glory is great in your salvation. Honor and majesty you have placed upon him, for you have made him most blessed forever. You have made him exceedingly glad with your presence. And I consider this to be sort of a note of appreciation that David has written to God. David was the king and so on, right? Why is this in the Bible? David praises God for all the blessings that he, the king, has received. The communications, God blesses good leaders. And that you don't have to be a king to be that. You may be the leader of the detail that picks up the trash along the highway. And God blesses that too, if you do it well. Application to my life. David notes here that he, as king, had joy in the strength of the Lord, and that was proper on the way things should be with ordained leaders. He further states that the Lord has not refused those things that which were properly asked for, and is because the king glorified the Lord. As a result, God gave King David all the normal honor of a kingship, with a golden crown, long life, great glory, and therefore he was feeling blessed by the Lord forever. And that's just the beginning, right? God says to me, obey good leaders that follow my word. There are people who are good in leadership, but whose motives are not good, and therefore I felt necessary to put in the follow my word part. My personal response, Lord, bless all who receive your anointing to leadership. And that we really should do, both in the spiritual sense of blessing the religious leaders, and also the political leaders and the those who lead, the police department and the fire department and the health department in recent months seems to be a good leadership point. We do those things, and as we do them, we recognize that they are people who were given certain skills, certain talents by God to do these things and be in leadership roles in doing these things, which are a part of what we assume to be our lives nowadays. And those are the ones who received God's anointing to leadership. And, we think of anointing as being something that's done to a prophet, a priest, a king. But in fact, there are many people who are not physically anointed by oil on the head and so on, but they are by God's decree anointed people because they were put there and given their talents to help others. And that's why I avoid political discussions greatly, because politics seems to have gone into a time when people, rather than saying this candidate will be good for us, but rather pointing out the other candidate is going to be bad for us. And that is independent of whether who's the incumbent and who's whatever. Mudslinging is not anointing. That's the opposite of anointing. And so if a person is in leadership, throwing mud at them is not a godly thing to do. I'm sorry. So with that statement, I'll say we're done for today, and I'll talk to you next time.